Let's begin with the silent awakening. There are moments in life when everything seems to move on its own, as if each day were nothing more than an exact repetition of the one before. You wake up, get up, take care of your responsibilities, face traffic, solve problems, talk to people, do what is expected, and before you know it, night arrives. And in the silence of that night, while the world slows down, a thought crosses your mind like a beam of light trying to slip through the cracks of a closed door. A thought you almost always ignore, but that insists on returning, as if it had something important to say. This thought is simple, but deeply unsettling. It wasn't supposed to be just this. And even when you try to push it away, it always comes back, because that thought is not a whim of the mind, not a fantasy. It is a calling to awaken, to question, to observe your own life with more depth. The truth is that within every human being, there is a silent territory where dormant desires live, postponed dreams, shelved plans, and versions of ourselves that haven't yet been allowed to exist. It is an inner territory you feel, but rarely visit. You live following an automatic flow, because that's how you were taught. People grow up learning to adapt, to fulfill responsibilities, to repeat the paths everyone around them walks. You learn not to question, not to disturb the structure of daily life, to play a role, even when that role does not reflect the truth of what lives within you. But sooner or later, that discomfort becomes impossible to ignore. It begins as a whisper, almost imperceptible, saying, "You can do more. You were born for more. This is not all there is." And contrary to what many believe, that whisper doesn't appear out of nowhere. It appears because your soul knows when you are living below your potential. It knows when you are settling. It knows when you are hiding who you really are. But most people learn to silence that whisper. They learn to settle. They learn to believe that it's too late, or that they're not talented enough, or that they weren't born with the same opportunities as others, or that it's safer to follow the predictable path than walking the true one. They even learn to normalize emptiness. Living out of convenience seems easier than living with purpose. Living out of fear seems more rational than living with courage. Living out of habit feels more comfortable than living in transformation. And so, without noticing, people survive, but stop truly living. And then, one day, something happens. And this something can be small. It can be a piece of news, a memory, a glance, a quick conversation, a mistake, a defeat, or even a simple pause between tasks. Suddenly, you stop, you breathe, and you feel something inside you begin to move. Maybe it's a deep exhaustion of repeating the same patterns. Maybe it's the accumulated frustration of so many unrealized dreams. Maybe it's just the realization that time is passing too fast and that you are falling behind yourself. And then the question appears. The question no one wants to face, but that always comes to those who begin to awaken. What am I really doing with my life? This question could be ignored, just like so many times before, but this time, it doesn't leave. It stays. It hurts. It calls. It demands that you look deeply within. And then comes another question, even difficult. What do I truly want to live? Not what people expect from you, not what you were told was right, not what fear allows you, but what you genuinely want to live. This is the moment when the journey begins. And it's interesting to realize that this journey does not start with action, movement, energy, or any external revolution. It begins with silence, an intimate silence, a silence no one around you perceives, but inside you it has the weight of a storm forming. This silent instant, almost imperceptible, is one of the most important moments of your life. Because it is in this instant that you meet yourself, maybe for the first time in many years. It's not like the movies, full of lights, dramatic epiphanies, or emotional soundtracks. It's quieter, more real, more human. It is a conversation between you and the most honest part of yourself, and this encounter marks the beginning of transformation. But every true transformation requires clarity, and clarity only appears when you ask yourself the right questions. Questions not meant to sound profound, but to reveal deep truths you've avoided for a long time. The first question is simple, yet powerful like an internal earthquake. What would you do if you received $1 million tomorrow? Some would say they'd buy things, others would travel, others would change houses, countries, or entire lives. But this question is not about money. It's about freedom, possibility, autonomy. It exposes what you truly want but don't allow yourself to desire. It reveals where your heart is. It shows what you would abandon instantly if you had the courage. It shows whom you would stop trying to please. It shows which routine you would drop without hesitation. The answer to this question reveals much more about you than you imagine. It reveals what your soul wants, not what the world taught you to want. 2. What would you do if you discovered you only have 6 months to live? This question doesn't bring despair, it brings clarity, because it eliminates everything irrelevant. It shows what truly matters. It shows who you truly love. It shows what you have postponed for years without noticing. It shows how much time you have wasted on what adds nothing to your life. When imagining a life limited, you finally realize the value of the time you still have. This question doesn't push you towards fear, it pushes you towards the truth. 3. What dream would you pursue if you knew you could not fail? No risk, no doubt, no chance of defeat. This question destroys fear, destroys insecurity, destroys excuses, destroys limits, destroys the invisible walls you built around your desires. The answer reveals who you are in your purest state, who you always wanted to be but never had the courage to embrace. These 3 questions seem simple, but they are like ancient keys capable of opening doors inside you that have been locked for a long time. Doors hiding memories, forgotten talents, repressed ambitions, and versions of yourself that you left behind out of fear, hurry, or lack of guidance. The truth is much simpler than it seems. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not late. You are asleep. And now, in this exact moment, you are awakening. This awakening is not just a thought, it is a turning point. It is the moment when you stop living as a spectator of your own life and begin to take the leading role. It is when you understand that something greater is waiting for you, and that this something has always been there, inside you, just waiting for the courage of your gaze. From here on, we begin a deep journey, a crossing that goes beyond what you show to the world. It is a journey inward to the place where everything begins. Every step, every reflection, every insight has a clear purpose: to reconnect you with your power, your clarity, and most importantly, your destiny.
Now let's think a little about goals, purpose, and the real path. Now that the first questions have opened cracks inside you, now that a new awareness has begun to move silently in your mind, it's time to face something most people avoid their whole lives: clarity. Not that superficial clarity made of pretty phrases, but the clarity that demands deep honesty, emotional courage, and real responsibility. Because there is a truth many people spend years trying to escape. If you don't define your own path, someone else will define it for you. And that is the root of a large part of human frustration. That's why so many feel life slipping through their fingers. That's why so many wake up tired, go through the day on autopilot, and fall asleep with that bitter feeling that nothing really changed. It's not lack of ability, not lack of potential, not bad luck. It's absence of direction. Those who have no goals live to fulfill other people's goals. Those who have no purpose live to fuel other people's purpose. Those who lack clarity keep putting out fires that aren't even theirs. And that's why setting goals is not a motivational exercise, it's an act of emotional survival. It's mental armor against distractions. It's a conscious decision to take control. Goals are not wishes. Goals are not fantasies. Goals are not loose phrases in the air. Goals are choices. They are commitments. They are declarations of who you want to be and what you're no longer willing to accept. And every great construction in life starts by answering 3 questions that change absolutely everything. 1. Who do I want to be? Not what the world expects, not what your family expects, not what your routine pushes you to be, but who you truly want to become. The kind of person you admire, the kind of presence you want to carry, the level of discipline you want to develop, the posture you want to embody. This question forces you to look at yourself honestly, and honesty is rare because it hurts, it exposes, it shows where you have been small, where you've sabotaged yourself, where you've accepted less than you deserve. But it's exactly at this point that evolution begins. 2. What do I want to build? Some people live for years without building anything at all, not because they can't, but because they don't know what they want. And those who don't know what they want accept anything. What do you want to leave for the world? What kind of structure do you want to raise? Which chapter of your life do you want to write with pride? Building requires clarity, and clarity requires that you take command of your own path. 3. What kind of life do you want to live in the coming years? Perhaps this is the most important question because it defines the scenario where all other decisions will fit. What pace do you want? What priorities? What lifestyle? What energy do you want to feel when you wake up? How do you want to spend your time? What kind of peace do you want to cultivate? Answering this deeply is what separates those who live from those who merely exist. These 3 questions create the foundation of your inner map. They are the invisible skeleton of the life you want to build, and from them arise the 3 fundamental pillars that support any real transformation. 1. Personal and family goals. Life isn't reduced to external achievements. You can reach a lot, earn a lot, conquer a lot, and still feel an enormous emptiness inside. Why? Because human beings need bonds, ties, memories, roots. Who do you want to be for the people you love? What kind of presence do you want to bring? How do you want to be remembered at home? The truth is simple. There is no professional success that compensates for emotional failure. No external achievement fills the absence of inner meaning. Personal goals are the soul's fuel. They are where you create emotional stability. They are where you find strength when everything gets hard. 2. Professional and financial goals. Here is the external construction. Here is the impact. Here is the legacy. How do you want to contribute to the world? How do you want to be recognized? What do you want to learn? What level of financial freedom do you want to achieve? And again, one hard truth emerges. There are extremely talented people living far below what they could simply because they don't have clear goals. They have potential, but potential without direction becomes frustration. And you are not here to live frustrated. You are here to grow, to expand, to prove to yourself that you are capable of going further. 3. Self-development goals. This is the pillar that supports all the others. Without inner growth, nothing changes on the outside, because it's impossible to build an extraordinary life with a limited mentality. What skills do you need to acquire? What do you need to leave behind? Which attitudes are sabotaging you? Which habits are holding you back? Which virtues do you need to strengthen? Without self-development, life stalls. With self-development, life flows. These 3 areas together form the architecture of your life, an architecture that must be designed by you, not by the world around you. But this is precisely where most people fail. People think about goals, dream about goals, talk about goals, but they don't write them down. And everything that isn't written simply gets lost. Goals must be born on paper to exist in practice. They must be revisited to become real. They must be adjusted to stay alive. Dreams without structure become frustration. Accumulated frustration becomes giving up. That's why there's a simple but powerful rule. If you can't measure it, you can't achieve it. This is where your life stops being a draft and becomes a project, a conscious, intentional project designed with purpose. And purpose doesn't arise from nothing. Purpose comes from choice. Purpose comes from direction. Purpose comes when you decide to stop merely surviving and start living for something greater. The great truth: life doesn't respond to what you wish, it responds to what you do. Wishing doesn't transform anything. Wanting doesn't change anything. Waiting doesn't build anything. But consistent action creates results. Intentional action creates transformation. Continuous action creates destiny. And here's what you need to understand deeply. Action without planning produces frustration. Planning without action creates illusion. Both together build destinies. When goals, purpose, and action align, something powerful happens. Life stops being confusing, the mind stops being heavy, emotions stop being chaotic. You gain something few people possess: direction. And that is what separates ordinary people from extraordinary people. It's not luck, not gift, not talent. It's direction, it's clarity, it's purpose put into motion. And now that you have awakened, now that you have begun to see what was previously invisible, you are ready for the next step of the journey, transforming intention into practice, transforming vision into reality. Because from here on, you will not just wish for a better life, you will build it, step by step, decision by decision, day by day. And that is how destinies are born.
Let's talk a little about discipline, action, and the strength that is born in chaos. There comes a moment in the journey when you must face the raw, unfiltered truth. Goals, dreams, clarity, and purpose mean nothing if you're not willing to act. This is the breaking point between those who imagine a new life and those who build a new life. It's the crossroads where many stop, where many hesitate, where many quit before they even begin. Because action requires something few people are prepared to offer: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you live. It's what separates dreamers from achievers. It's what turns intention into reality. It's what turns ideas into results. And here is a truth few have the courage to admit. You didn't fail because you lacked ability. You failed because you lacked consistency. Life does not demand perfection from you. It demands consistency. Many people start, but few continue. Many people try, but few persist. Many people create plans, but almost no one creates habits. Real transformation doesn't happen when you decide to change. Real transformation happens when you continue, even on the days when change feels impossible. Because discipline is not built on easy days. It is forged on the days when everything seems against you. On the days you wake up tired, pressured, unmotivated. On the days you see no results. On the days no one recognizes your effort. It is in these moments that most people give up. But it is in these moments that the strong are formed. Discipline is not doing things when you're motivated. Discipline is doing them even when you're not. And this is where the journey changes completely. After you wake up, part 1, and find direction, part 2, you must enter the territory where the real mental natural selection happens, the territory of continuous action. And action is not glamorous, it's not beautiful, it's not epic. Action in practice is tiring, it's repetitive, it's monotonous. It's facing daily the part of you that tries to pull you back to comfort, to the old, to the easy. That's why you must understand something once and for all. Life will test you. And these tests won't come in the form of grand challenges. They come through small daily choices. It's waking up early or staying 10 minutes longer in bed, doing what must be done or leaving it for tomorrow, saying no to old habits
or returning to the pattern that slowly destroys you, choosing the right priority or falling into the same distractions as always. Life observes every single detail because each detail builds who you are becoming. And maybe you've noticed this already. The more you try to grow, the more obstacles appear. The more you try to improve, the more life seems to test you. The bigger your dream, the heavier the weight you'll have to carry. But that's not bad luck, it's not coincidence, it's not spiritual or emotional persecution, it's growth. Growth requires resistance, and resistance is only born when you face pressure. The truth is simple and relentless. You don't get stronger through ease, you get stronger through chaos. Many people want extraordinary results while living ordinary lives. They want freedom without discipline. They want evolution without giving up what holds them back. They want to achieve great dreams with small efforts. Impossible. To live a life above average, you must be willing to pay the price the average never does. And here comes the question that separates the committed from the curious. Are you truly willing to pay the price? Because everything has a price. Discipline has a price. Freedom has a price. Transformation has a price. But stagnation also has a price, and it is much higher. Because nothing hurts more than looking back and realizing you could have gone much further, but didn't. And do you know why? Because you sabotaged yourself in the details. And it's the details that destroy dreams. The good news, the details also build empires. And it all starts with one simple principle: minimal action every day. The size of the step doesn't matter. What matters is that there is a step. Many people freeze because they want to start big. They want to change everything at once. They want to transform their entire life in 1 week. That never works. Real transformation is always built in a simple way, with small actions that seem insignificant at first, but accumulate like bricks until they form an unshakable structure. And here you must internalize one of the most powerful lessons of the entire journey. What you do daily matters infinitely more than what you do occasionally. Sporadic effort creates illusion. Daily effort creates identity. And that's what you are shaping, a new identity. The identity of someone who keeps their promises, who does what needs to be done, who acts even when tired, who advances even with fear, who continues even without applause, who doesn't give up because they've learned giving up means returning to a place that never made them happy. And when you begin acting consistently, something powerful happens. The world begins to respect you. But even more importantly, you begin to respect yourself. Self-respect is the fuel of discipline. Every time you accomplish something you promised, your mind learns, I can trust myself. Every time you do what must be done, even without wanting to, your brain registers, he, she is capable. Every time you move an inch forward, your spirit understands, direction matters more than speed. And over time, this constant movement becomes strength, then habit, then routine, and finally, identity. And when something becomes identity, you no longer have to fight to do it, you simply do it, because it becomes part of who you are. But until you reach that point, you must go through the territory everyone avoids, the territory where everything is difficult, challenging, heavy, and uncomfortable. And guess what? It is exactly in this territory that life changes. Because no real transformation is born in comfort. Comfort keeps you the same. Discomfort forces you to evolve. And now you are ready to understand something fundamental. Chaos didn't come to destroy you, it came to reveal the strength you never used. From here on, you will learn to act even with fear, to continue even with doubt, to persist even without immediate results, to trust the process even when the process doesn't seem to make sense. Because evolution is like this. First it feels confusing, then it feels difficult, until one day, suddenly, everything makes sense. And when that day comes, you realize nothing was in vain. Every pain strengthened you, every difficulty refined you, every challenge shaped you, every fall taught you how to rise, every failed attempt built your resilience, every almost prepared you for the now it's happening. This is the moment when life stops being something that happens to you, it becomes something you create. because now you understand that discipline is not a prison. Discipline is freedom. Action is not a burden. Action is power. Effort is not punishment. Effort is construction. And now that you are entering the phase of true action, you are beginning to access the best version of yourself, the version that always existed but was asleep. Get ready, because part 4 will be the emotional deepening of everything you were building: inner strength, resilience, and unshakable identity.
Now we enter rhythm, discipline, and the architecture of success. There comes a moment when you finally understand something that changes everything. It's not strength, not talent, not intelligence, and definitely not luck that transforms a life. It's rhythm. Rhythm is the most underestimated element of success. It's the silent force that builds giants. It's the engine that never shuts off. It's the consistency no one sees, but everyone feels when the results appear. Rhythm is simple. It is what you do every single day. The micro actions that seem too small to matter, yet they are exactly what make all the difference. A quick workout, a lesson studied, a task completed, a goal reviewed, a habit applied, a conscious choice made. That's how entire lives change, not through big explosions of motivation, but through small repetitions of discipline. And here you begin to understand one of the most important principles of human evolution. What is repeated becomes stronger. What is ignored becomes weaker. What is practiced becomes identity. The more you repeat an action, the more your brain understands it as part of who you are. At the beginning, everything is uncomfortable. Everything is hard. Everything requires effort. But with time, repetition creates fluidity. Fluidity creates naturalness. Naturalness creates speed. Speed creates results, and results create motivation. This is the learning curve, and it applies to everything: discipline, organization, focus, habits, goals, health, finances, career, mindset. Repetition is the holy grail of mastery. But there is something almost no one talks about, something that destroys most people's evolution. Lack of rhythm breaks the learning curve. Have you noticed that when you stop for a few days, it feels like starting from zero? That happens because the brain loses the heat of repetition, and starting over is always much harder than continuing. That's why you can't depend on motivation. That's why you can't depend on circumstances. That's why you can't depend on mood, weather, or someone's approval. Rhythm must be bigger than the moment. Rhythm must be bigger than emotional oscillation. Rhythm must be bigger than fatigue. Rhythm must be inherent. And here enters one of the most ignored pillars by those who dream big: delegation. Most people try to do everything. They want to solve, control, command, supervise every detail. But that's not strength, that's weakness. Weakness disguised as responsibility. You were not created to carry the world on your back. And if you try, you will break, you will burn out, you will get lost. There are things someone else can do. There are tasks that do not require your highest value. There are functions that should not occupy your time, your energy, and your mind. Your time is your most precious currency. No one can return it. No one can multiply it. No one can recover it. That's why you must use it where it truly matters. Delegating is not carelessness. It is intelligence. Delegating is not loss of control. It is strategy. Delegating is not laziness. It is vision. And delegation only works with clarity. Clarity about what you want, clarity about how you want it, clarity about when you want it, clarity about the expected result. That's how leaders grow, not by accumulating tasks, but by building systems.
not by carrying weight, but by distributing responsibilities. Not by centralizing everything, but by developing people. And this is where one of the simplest, most powerful, and most transformative productivity tools appears: the ABCDE method. A. Absolutely necessary. B. Important. C. Desirable. D. Delegable. E. Eliminable. Simple, direct, objective, surgical. But few people have the courage to apply it, because ABCDE requires something you've avoided your entire life: to prioritize. Not prioritizing in words, not prioritizing in intention, not prioritizing in "I'll deal with it later," prioritizing for real. A. What must be done now, no negotiation. B. What is relevant but not urgent. C. What would be nice but makes no real difference. D. What someone else can do for you. E. What is stealing your time, your peace, and your life, and must disappear immediately. When you start applying ABCDE, something happens. Your life organizes itself. Your focus returns. Your mind clears. Your time expands. Your productivity skyrockets. And then you finally understand: being busy does not mean moving forward. Many people are always running, always exhausted, always overloaded, and still not leaving the place. They confuse movement with progress. They confuse hustle with evolution. They confuse urgency with importance. Modern life is full of distractions disguised as obligations, full of demands that seem important but aren't, full of tasks that seem urgent but only exist to steal your attention. That's why you must ask yourself every day, will this matter 5 years from now? If the answer is no, eliminate it. If the answer is yes, prioritize it. If the answer is maybe, reflect. Don't live reacting to the world. Live building your world. Rhythm also creates something fundamental: identity. Every small action you complete reinforces your self-image. Every neglect does too. That's why discipline is not about results, it's about who you are becoming. And here is a brutal but liberating truth. Discipline is the root of self-love, because discipline is a commitment to yourself. It is proving day after day that you are worthy of your own trust. It is looking in the mirror and saying with conviction, I can count on myself. Most people do not suffer from lack of ability. They suffer from lack of self-confidence built through action. Real self-confidence doesn't come from motivational phrases. It doesn't come from compliments. It doesn't come from inspirational videos. It comes from one place: from doing what you said you would do. Every kept promise is a brick. Every broken promise is a crack. The greatest reward of discipline isn't the transformed body, the advanced career, the money earned, or the dreams achieved. The greatest reward is the identity you build, the silent pride, the inner strength, the ability to stand up even when the world tries to knock you down. Discipline takes you to a place no circumstance can steal from you, the place where you know exactly what you are capable of. And that is when you start living a different life, more conscious, more intentional, more powerful. This is the point where you realize you are building something bigger than goals. You are building the architecture of success. And this architecture is made of invisible, solid, non-negotiable pillars: rhythm, clarity, priorities, delegation, discipline, and identity. And when these pillars are firm, nothing can stop you. Because now you no longer depend on motivation, inspiration, or favorable circumstances. Now you depend on you. And that is what strong people do. From here, the journey enters its deepest stage, the building of a powerful mind. Finally, the rebirth. 2026, the year everything changes. There comes a point in the journey when life looks at you and asks without hesitation, "And now, what are you going to do with everything you've learned?" Because it's useless to understand discipline, to learn about rhythm, to comprehend the power of inner silence if you don't do the only thing that truly changes destinies. Choose. Life changes when you choose to change, not when you think, not when you wish, not when you dream, but when you decide. And 2026 is right there, waiting for a decision from you. Not a perfect one, not a grand one, not one full of conditions, but a real one. You don't need to know the entire path. You just need to take the first step with conviction. You learn the rest while moving. Because the truth, the one most people fear to face, is simple. If you enter 2026 as the same person you've been until now, you'll have the same year you've always had. Nothing changes until you do. And changing is not easy. Changing means abandoning old stories, cutting behaviors you've grown used to, destroying excuses you've repeated for years, and confronting truths you've avoided your whole life. But there is something even more important. Change requires emotional courage. The courage to look at yourself and say, "Enough. I deserve more. I can do more. I will become more." This is the kind of courage you can't buy, copy, or imitate. This is the courage that rises from the depths of your soul when you finally understand that life will not wait for you to be ready. It will push you, test you, challenge you, and it's up to you to decide if you'll be lifted upward or crushed by the weight of everything you've postponed. 2026 will be a turning point, not because the calendar changes, but because you can change with it. Time doesn't transform lives, you do. And here's a truth many avoid admitting. Your future won't be defined by what you've done until today, but by what you decide to do from this moment on. Now, this exact second, this breath, this awareness rising inside you as you hear these words. If you want to, if you choose to, if you truly take control, 2026 can be the year that marks your rebirth, the year you become your own commitment, the year you fulfill promises you always postponed, the year you break patterns that were destroying you, the year you finally understand that you're not competing with anyone, you're competing with the version of you that keeps insisting on holding you back. And then the most powerful question someone can ask appears. Who will you be next year? The person who wakes up early to build their dreams, or the person who wakes up complaining about the life they created? The person who protects their energy, their focus, their time, or the one who's available for everything and everyone except themselves? The person who honors their limits, goals, and values, or the one who's always putting out fires, fixing damages, patching up what didn't need to exist? The decision is yours. It always was. And maybe for the first time, you're truly ready to choose, because you've already understood that your life doesn't change with momentary motivation. It changes with identity, with rhythm, with discipline, with daily micro actions that together build a giant. And if you're listening to this now with a racing heart, with that powerful discomfort pushing you to take the next step, then understand, you've already begun. The change is already happening inside you. The decision is already forming within you, like a flame lit in the darkness. And that flame needs only one thing: action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for support. Stop waiting for courage. Stop waiting for motivation. Action creates courage. Action creates direction. Action creates clarity. Action creates confidence. Action creates the life you've always dreamed of. And when 2026 begins, I want you to remember this. You are not starting over from zero. You are starting over from experience. Every pain you lived through in 2025 prepared you. Every fall strengthened you. Every doubt taught you. Every mistake shaped you. Every closed door redirected you to where you needed to be. And now, it's your turn. Your turn to build a new story. Your turn to take the wheel. Your turn to grow without asking for permission. Your turn to decide who you will be from here on. 2026 will not be just another year. It will be the year you choose yourself, the year you rise, the year you discipline yourself, the year you free yourself, the year you transform yourself, the year you look back and say, here, now. This was the moment my life split between who I was and who I decided to become. The year you stop surviving and start living. The year you stop reacting and start directing. The year you stop seeking validation and start seeking evolution. Because the world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be conscious, focused, committed, present, living your truth. And deep down, you know the life you want exists and it's waiting for you. So take a deep breath, feel your body, your mind, your soul aligning with this new time, and declare, even if silently, 2026 will be my year, and nothing will stop me. Because when a person decides to change, nothing holds them back, nothing interrupts them, nothing limits them. That's how the greats are reborn. That's how the unstoppable begin. And now, it's your turn. 2026 is waiting, but who you will be is yours to decide.
Subscribe to the channel because we'll have new videos every day until you reach your goal. You are capable.